We often associate fairy tales with children's bedtime stories. However, some of it doesn't always end happily ever after. Instead, they have a bitter twist in their tale to teach moral or social lessons. The highlighted fairy tale stories in the K-drama. It's okay not to be okay proves that they were as sad as real life gets. Here are the 5 fairy tale stories mentioned in the K-drama. The boy Wu fed on nightmares. The boy woke up from another nightmare. Bad memories from the past that he wanted to erase from his head were replayed in his dreams every night and haunted him non-stop. So one day, he went to the witch and begged, "Please get rid of all my bad memories so that I won't ever have a nightmare again. Then, I will do everything you ask." Years went by, and the boy became an adult. He no longer has nightmares, but for some strange reasons, he wasn't happy at all. One night, a blood moon filled the night sky, and the witch finally showed up again to take what he had promised in return for granting his wish. And he shouted at her with so much resentment, "All my bad memories are gone. But why? Why can't I become happy?" Then the witch took his soul as they had promised and told him this. Hurtful, painful memories. Memories of deep regrets. Memories of hurting and being hurt. Memories of being abandoned. Only those with such memories buried in their hearts can become stronger, more passionate, and emotionally flexible. And only those who can attain happiness. So don't forget any of it. Remember it all and overcome it. If you don't overcome it, you'll always be a kid whose soul never grows. The Zombie Kid. A baby boy was born in a small village. He had pale skin and large eyes. While raising the boy, his mother naturally came to the realization that he had no feelings. All he had was the desire to eat, like a zombie. So his mother locked him up in the basement so that the villagers wouldn't see him. And every night, she stole livestock from her neighbors to feed him. That's how she raised him in secret. One night, she'd steal a chicken. The next day, she'll steal a pig. A number of years passed by like that. Then one day, an epidemic broke out. It left the remaining animals dead. And it also killed many people. Those who survived the epidemic left the village. But the mother couldn't leave her son all alone. And to appease her son crying of hunger, she cut off one leg of hers and gave it to him. After that, it was her arm. She gave him all her limbs. When she was left with nothing but her torso, she embraced her son for the last time to let him devour what was left of her. With his both arms, the boy tightly held his mother's torso and spoke for the first time in his life.
"Mom, you're so warm."
What did the boy really want? Satiating hunger? Or feeling his mother's warmth? The Cheerful Dog. Once upon a time, there lived a dog that was very good at hiding his emotions. The dog was tied beneath a shade tree. He always wagged his tail and acted cute. So he got the name, the Cheerful Dog, because he was as cheerful as springtime. The dog always had lots of fun with the village kids during the day. But every night, he'd moan and whine when no one was around. That's because he wanted to cut off the leash and freely run around out in the spring field. However, he couldn't. And that's why he cried every night. Every single night. One day, a voice inside him asked the Cheerful Dog, "Hey, why don't you just cut off the leash and run away?" And this is what the Cheerful Dog said. "I've been tied up for way too long. So I forgot how to cut myself free." The Hand. The Monkfish. Once upon a time, a beautiful baby girl was born into a wealthy family. She was beautiful and flawless as magnolias. Her mother loved her so much that she pledged she'd do anything for her baby. She said she would even present to her the sun and the moon. When the baby started eating solid foods, her mother was thrilled. She said, "My sweet child, I will feed you everything you want to eat. Open your mouth wide." When the baby started walking, her mother ran hurriedly to where she was and say, "My sweet child, I will carry you, come on. Hop on my back. After raising the baby by always providing her with everything she needed, the mother said this. My beloved child, I need some rest. Can you get me some food? Then the child spoke. Mom, I have no hands. I never used them, so they vanished. Then my sweet child, can you carry me on your back? My legs hurt. Then the child said this. Mom, I have no feet since you always carried me on your back. So I've never even stepped the ground. But instead, I have a huge mouth. And she opened her humongous mouth. Then the mother shouted in anger. You weren't perfect, baby, after all. You're like a useless monkfish. All you can do is eat what I feed you. You can't do anything on your own, you're an utter failure. Then the mother threw the baby into the faraway sea. Ever since that day, it's been said that fishermen can hear a baby's cry on spooky and windy days out on the sea. Mom, what did I do wrong? Please come and get me. Please come back and get me. Finding the real face. Once upon a time in a castle in the deep forest, there lived 3 people who had their real faces stolen by the Shadow Witch. The Boxman spoke. If we want to stop fighting and find happiness, we must retrieve our stolen faces. So they hopped in their camping car and began journey to find their faces. Then one day, they ran into a mother fox who was bawling, curled up on the snow. The masked boy asked the mother, Ma'am, why do you keep crying? Oh, I came out here to find some food, but dropped the baby whom I was carrying on my back somewhere in the snow. The mother fox's tears had run dry. She wailed while beating her chest. When the masked boy saw that, warm tears started gushing from his eyes. Then the snow began to melt quickly, and the baby fox, who was frozen under the snow, soon appeared. The 3 of them resumed their journey. Soon, they ran into the clown who was dancing naked in a field of thorny flowers. The emotionless princess asked, Why are you dancing with all your might, knowing you will pricked by the thorns? I feel that this is the only way to make people look at me. But it hurts. No one is looking at me, he answered. Then the emotionless princess walked into the field of thorny flowers and started dancing with the clown. I'm an empty can, so I won't be hurt, even if I get pricked by the thorns. When she began hopping and dancing, loud clanking noises echoed from her empty torso. And upon hearing those sounds, people began to flock to where they were. The crowd watched their dance and applauded them. They began a new journey to find their stolen faces. And the evil Shadow Witch appeared in front of them once again. She kidnapped the masked boy, who shed tears on behalf of the mother fox, as well as the emotionless princess who danced with the clown. The 2 of you will never be able to find your happy faces. After putting such a curse on them, she locked them in a deep, dark mole tunnel. The Boxman found the mole tunnel a few days later, but the entrance was narrow. He couldn't go in. What do? I need to take this box off my head in order to go to the tunnel. That moment, the masked boy's voice reached him from inside the tunnel. Mister, don't worry about us. Just ran far away. The Shadow Witch will return soon. However, the Boxman mustered up the courage to take the box off his head. Then he went inside the tunnel and saved the masked boy and the emotionless princess. Upon getting out of the dark tunnel, the 2 of them saw the man's face, covered with dirt and grime instead of the box, and burst out laughing. They laughed and giggled. While laughing uncontrollably, the masked boy's mask suddenly fell off. The can surrounding the emotionless princess' torso also fell off and made a clanking noise. The Boxman, now out of his box, said this when he saw the 2 of them finding their true faces while laughing. I'm happy. Shadow Witch had stolen from them was not their true faces, but their courage to find happiness.